South Africa's immigration debate has taken yet another dramatic turn after Peter Dimba, a Malawian national secretly holding a senior role in Operation Dudula, was arrested in the movement's protest against the G20 summit. Now, his exposure as a foreigner leading an anti-foreigner campaign has sparked outrage and raised serious questions about the credibility of the group. Now, today we're going to talk about the detail of the story, how Operation Dudula is led by foreigners against foreigners. Let's talk about this today.
Now we're going to do what the ANC had did to the apartheid government.
What's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel, The Foreigner. I am a foreigner from East Africa, Uganda, and I do vlogs about foreigner, current affairs. And also now, because we are in an election season in Uganda, I also do politics sometimes. So actually, yesterday, the 28th of November, this very year 2025, I went to Kazo playground where the president of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Lubeshumba, Tubahabura, so many other great names, was visiting the district, and I was able to access the VIP section. I was so close to him, I recorded him, so that video is coming up. Well, guys, on to the title, on to the story, on the introduction. What is happening in South Africa is crazy, man. I've always told you guys, if you are a foreigner living in South Africa, please, you don't have to hide yourself and become and camouflage and try to convince people that you're a South African when you actually know it. You're genetically, you're based on your ancestry, you're not South African, man. It's good to be South African, it's amazing, it's incredible, but man, if you're not South African, you don't have to force it, man. You have a country you belong to, you have a history, you have an ancestry. Why do you force yourself onto South Africa? So guys, what is making rounds on internet, on TikTok, on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on so many other vlogs on Instagram is the story of Peter Dimba. Now, firstly, Peter Dimba is a South Africa. Dimba is a native Malawian name. If you try to search in South African traditional or South African surnames, you cannot find the name Dimba. And now the name Peter is obviously a foreign, European or British name. So now this guy, by the names Peter Dimba, is the vice chairperson of Operation Dudula. Firstly, Operation Dudula is a pressure group in South Africa that aims at fighting for South African rights. I would say it's a patriotic group or movement that fights for South African rights, fighting for jobs for South Africans. It pretty much fights for the prioritization of South Africa. It calls upon the South African government to prioritize South African citizens because there's so many illegal immigrants who are trying to take jobs, who are trying to take advantage of the reluctance of the South African government, and they end up taking jobs, making it a problem for citizens. So firstly, Operation Dudula, or the word Dudula itself, means kick out, push out, and now their intention is to kick out foreigners of South Africa, is to kick out foreigners from jobs that are supposed to be for South Africans. Now, if I happen to get into the detail of what this means, of what it's all about, we can either agree or disagree. But now, the big story of today is about Peter Dimba, who is the vice chairperson of Operation Dudula. Now, it's alleged that this gentleman is a foreign national. He is a foreigner. He is a Malawian who is in a big position or in a senior role as a vice chairperson of a movement or an organization that is against foreigners. Now, whether the organization is against foreigners in a good will or in a bad will, that's a statement for you to make. But what will I say? Now, being a foreigner, fighting against another foreigner or fighting against foreigners, to me, if you're talking about dating ladies and stuff like that, we are now, to me, Peter Dimba sounds to me like a simp. He's trying to buy love. He's trying to make sure that South Africans love him because he's doing them a horse's job or a donkey's job, because South Africans, they're not really interested into that business because they're not haters, so they don't have time to hate on foreigners, because Peter Dimba is ready to go down the rabbit hole and do that dirty job for them. So he thinks he's gonna be a South African. Now, guys, firstly, I have to say this is an allegation, but again, his rise to fame was during the G20 summit that just happened recently. I think the last week when it happened and ended on a Sunday, if not on a Monday. The G summit that consisted of vital or decision-making top countries, and it was happening in South Africa, Johannesburg, at Nazareth. I did a video about that. You guys should go and see the video and the details about it. But also now, we have to first play the video about his arrest, and then we'll make a comment or a reaction about it. Watch the video till the end, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Like, share, and comment.
There is nothing xenophobic about our action, because even when you seek permission to get into South Africa, there should be a medical cover that says that you have a cover for medical expenses if you are going to stay in South Africa. So the resources that we have in healthcare services are for South African citizens. But if a foreign national is coming to South Africa, he has to show that cover. Then he has to show that medical cover, so that he has to access the health services in our country. Not just everyone. Because, for example, there are many that we know that took their parents and their relatives from foreign countries to come and do surgical operations. Surgical operations that they know that are very expensive in their countries. But they do this they bring their relatives to South Africa to do this operation free. They know that is free in South Africa.
Fighting illegality that's happening in the country. We went to take people to the police station who are illegal in the country, and some people were arrested. What's the job of the police if they can't protect the citizens? They're working against us, these people.
Yes, guys, yeah, boy, yes, that's Mr. Peter Dimba. Now, I first made some research about Peter Dimba. When I googled Peter Dimba, or when I put in Peter Dimba in a search engine, they showed me Honorable Peter Dimba, who is now currently Minister of Labor in Malawi. He was formerly a member of parliament, and then he resigned over accusations of corruption and stuff like that. Now he's the current Minister of Labor in Malawi. Peter Dimba, a different guy. Now that shows both the names Peter Dimba originate from Malawi. Well, we all know Peter comes from England, and that is a British name, but Dimba is a Malawian name. If you try to search about it, definitely it's gonna take you to Malawi. But now, Mr. Dimba in South Africa was arrested by the South African police services during the protest against the G20 summit. Has had so many stories or rumors about him being a foreign national. Now, what do we learn from this? Firstly, self-hate is becoming a big thing. It's becoming a new normal in South Africa, because foreigners try to think that if they learn the South African languages, if they marry South African ladies, if they get involved in movements like Operation Dudula or activism organization, then they're gonna easily blend in and easily be forgotten as foreigners, and now recognized as South Africans. Now, guys, let me tell you now, this has always been happening in European countries. For example, if you go to the US, the UK, if you go to so many other European countries, you find black people who speak like white people with an accent. Hey man, how are you doing? What's up? What's happening? I mean, sometimes it makes sense because you want to easily blend in. You don't want to be eliminated, discriminated, because if you have an accent like mine, hey, come here, what are you doing? They're gonna make fun of you. You're gonna feel uncomfortable sometimes. So, in the long run of accent change, black people in the US, they end up hating themselves. They end up finding themselves more important than other Africans, than their fellows. Maybe the newbies that have just gone to the US or to Europe, these oldies trying to discriminate themselves or distance themselves from these ones. Now, for them, what's nice, maybe they don't escalate it, or maybe their hate is not seen on camera, but on a few occasions we've seen black Americans trying to distance themselves from African Americans. Even those words shouldn't be used, because I can clearly see you and recognize you as an African brother, but because you've stayed in America for a long time, you feel like we are not the same, which I don't want to go deep into. Now, what happens in South Africa is different, because now here we are all black people. South Africans are black people, even when we have white people in South Africa. But what happens when these brothers go into South Africa and stay longer and then learn languages and then get married to South African ladies or South African? Mostly it is the men that do this. When they get married to South African ladies, now they want to blend in. Now they feel like they're more of better foreigners than other foreigners. Now what happens? They join these movements. I mean, even the head or the president of Operation Dudula, Zandile Dabula, was allegedly brought into light as a Zimbabwean hiding into a South African flag, fighting for South Africans. Actually also did a video about that, so you should also go see the story or the allegations about Zandile Dabula, who is the current president of Operation Dudula. Now this man Peter Dimba, who is allegedly from Malawi, is trying to change his ancestry, trying to change his origin, claiming he's South African. And now what makes matters worse, he's fighting against his own man. That's so crazy, man. I mean, I've seen this about Ugandans who live in South Africa, who have lived in South Africa for much more, who have lived in South Africa for long enough to have learned the languages and stuff like that. Some of them have changed their names, some of them have changed their accents. I mean, it comes naturally. You can get used to say, "Nay, hey, my man, you must do this. I'm gonna do this. I wanna do this." Such accents can easily get adopted too. But changing your nationality or changing self is an extreme radical thing to do, because now you start hating on your people. Now just hating on people without action could be cool, but now what Peter Dimba is doing is trying to do something I would call house breaking. If you see from this video, he's trying to house break, because he's hating on foreigners, which we have discovered based on the rumors or allegations that he is one himself. Man, that's crazy. Now, to the South Africans watching this video, please let me tell you guys, we are really sorry. As a foreigner who lived in South Africa for 5 illegal years, I would like to say this. Most foreigners who do things like this are not a representation of foreigners, are not a representation of other Africans outside of South Africa. Because for me, I lived in South Africa for 5 years. I was illegal. I learned my lessons. I learned that I'm not supposed to go into any other African country or in any other country in any case illegally, because the repercussions are heavy. If I get lucky and I don't get arrested, the moment I get into a country illegally, it's gonna traumatize me, it's gonna destabilize me, it has a big baggage onto my head, into my conscience, so I know for sure it's a wrong thing to do. But now South Africans watching me, please, you should take this seriously. What does it talk about you? I mean, we understand you're nice people, you're hospitable, you're receptive, you don't act harsh, rude to your fellow African brothers and sisters. But if a foreigner like Peter Dimba, or allegedly, I have to say that if allegedly foreigners like Peter Dimba or Zandile Dabula are misrepresenting you in this manner, what do you have to do? What do you think about it? What do you do about it? Because now, for people who are not educated about what is happening in South Africa, they think South Africans are hateful people. And now when a video like this shows up and I do a reaction, I see comments in the comment section, some South Africans saying, "Oh, this is our person, these are people, we love them, they are representing us." But actually, to some South Africans who know the detail of these stories, they know that they are being misrepresented. So what do you do as South Africans when issues or stories like this come up? You have to stand up. I know South Africans are peaceful people, are relaxed, laid back people, but some things, man, you need to talk about your foreign picture, man. you're being portrayed as hateful people, you're being portrayed as xenophobic people. Well, firstly, personally, I've developed some sort of too much or extreme patriotism. I feel like sometimes I need to talk about the Indians and call them to order. The Indians who are living in South Africa, rather in Uganda, who are investing in Uganda and mistreating Ugandans and discriminating Ugandans, because these Indians who live in Uganda, they don't marry or get married to Ugandans. No, they don't do that. If they want to get married, they go to India, bring their sisters, bring their female partners or male partners and marry them in Uganda. Now that means, that talks much about their love for Uganda. They don't really have love for Uganda, but they're doing business in Uganda, they're developing from Uganda, they're getting profits from Uganda and then repatriating them. So why at some point won't someone develop xenophobic or some, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway guys, in closure, tell me in the comment section, what do you think about Peter Dimba? Do you really think he's an illegal do you really think he's a foreigner, or do you really think this is a lie about him? Anyhow guys, well, one thing I know for sure, we are all Africans, we are all humans, we are only here for a short period of time. Very soon we will leave it. I don't know if it's tomorrow or the other day or next year or next month. But one thing I know for sure, man, we all have to live in harmony. You don't have to change your ancestry or your history or hate on your brother or a sister because of something very little, man. All I need to tell you guys, let's work hard and let's love our countries. If you love your country, you'll have no reason to go to anyone else's country and then camouflage. If you love your country, you have to stay in your country, fight hard for it, improve it, and make it a better country. Be proud of your countries, man. Be proud of your countries, guys. Well, guys, from me to you, as I've already said, you can doubt anything below the sun. But one thing for sure, God is great.